I'm waiting with bated breath to hear what I'm going to say now after that introduction. I am the Evaluator General, here to give verdict on those who haven't heard any feedback as yet. In the time-honoured tradition, I shall start with Madam President. New President, but confident, assured, eloquent, and commanding our attention without batting an eye. So I've got to think of something to recommend for this eminent president. Well, I was terrified when she suggested our guests might take a minute. Can you imagine if they'd enjoyed her invitation? But, having said that, I think we can all rest assured that we are in such safe and capable hands for this coming year. So, thank you, Madam President. Next was our chairperson, Mina. And delightful, demure, specific in what she had to say to us. And I had the feeling that we were in very safe hands. Things were well ordered, there were no mishaps, there were no accidents, very confidently executed. She does stand a little bit to the side, I found. So I would say to Mina, stand four square and face the audience head on. But thank you very much for an excellent, very competent job tonight. Our timekeeper, Lee Mabel. Lee, was it the first time you've done this task?
In Athenians, yes.
Well, perhaps you're hinting there at some previous experience, and I think that shone through. Absolutely spot on. Diligent, accurate, briefly reported, even though Lee took a step further than the normal timekeeper and gave us some additional feedback on functionary times, which I quite enjoyed. So very well done. Lee does have a habit of beginning sentences with "so," and that could perhaps be distracting, so watch out for that. But a very competent and well executed function. Our grammarian, Will. My goodness, what a feast of linguistic facilities or parts of speech or rhetorical devices. Absolutely amazing. And a very, very well observed report encompassing lots of different parts of speech. What I loved most about Will was that he began with his introduction, whetting our appetite for what might come and setting us up. I was going to try and do an anadiplosis. To be a grammarian, you've got to be steadfast. Steadfast, Will certainly was. Wasn't he? Okay, yes, all right. Very well done, Will. Next, our topics master, James Root. And topics that everybody grasped, they could get a grip of them, they delivered interesting, short, impromptu speeches, so very well thought out topics. I felt at times the introductions were quite long, and I thought they could have been condensed. But they were fascinating and interesting and gave people the opportunity to speak well on the topics they got. So very well done. And good volume, good projection. We then had our table topics evaluator, Kate McNeely, who's introduced us lovely. And there's quite a bit of lovely around this evening. And I liked it. And I thought it was a very accurate introduction. Kate, as always, gave us very enlightened observations about the speakers. She did so in a very timely manner. I have to say, I didn't like the two-part feedback. I love the sandwich, as it's known often, the commend, recommend, commend. So I would perhaps urge Kate to resort to that time-honoured system. Having said that, I thought the recommendations were very helpful and supportive, so well done. Next, our Toastmaster, Amel. As always, very enthusiastic, very smart and confident. I thought there's a tip that I was told about introductions: always save the name till last. And once or twice Amel didn't do that. So I found that a little bit anticlimactic. So I think it's best to give the speech title and any other introduction and then finish with the name at a high pitch. That said, again, a smooth and confident master of ceremonies. Well done. And as always, authentic. Our first speech evaluator was Yvonne Massett, and a very experienced evaluator, someone I was very lucky to have as my mentor, so I'm grateful to Yvonne for the support she's given me in the past. And I thought she did an excellent job evaluating Nathan's speech. I was thinking, what on earth is she going to recommend? But she gauged it very well. She recognised his experience, his theatrical and performing arts experience, and put the thing in very good context. So I thought that was excellent. Why is Yvonne still using notes? I have to challenge her to get rid of the notes and dive in. But anyway, that minor recommendation, a very, very competent and well-executed evaluation. Next was Ladislav Bartos. And believe it or not, this was Ladislav's first evaluation. And I'm thinking, my goodness, he's got excellent format, he's covering all relevant points, he's got the speech objectives in mind, and he's explicitly identifying them, and very encouraging. But he only used 2 minutes and 7 seconds of his time. So I would say to Ladislav, exploit your full allocation of time. But for a first stab, well, stab is not the right word, for a first evaluation, very well done indeed. Next was Ashen Datchler for Anton Cummings. And Ashen is always enthusiastic, supportive, well observed, and I thoroughly enjoyed his evaluation. I think he did qualify his recommendation slightly, so I would urge him not to do that. As I've said once or twice before, a recommendation is a gift to the speaker, so give it wholeheartedly, but a very good evaluation. Thank you. And finally, Catherine. Catherine was introduced as a woman, let me just read this, who walks on the river. I thought, my God, the last time this was done was 2,000 years ago. But it did give hint to her extraordinary talent. Stepping in at the last minute and giving an excellent evaluation. So, very well done. I thought, again, she gave a a great overview and commended what was an extraordinary speech. There was, in my opinion, this a little bit of not very purposeful movement, so I would say perhaps look at that, but an excellent evaluation, very well done. Thank you.